I hope you enjoyed the visual of me eating almonds so my stomach doesn't growl on the show. How's it going? Welcome to Sideshow Live, everybody. We have like a full studio right now, and it's not only from here, but we also gathered folks from the underworld to come visit. And is something happening? Something's happening. Which is always exciting here because I don't always know what's going on. But we do have guests from the underworld today. We have Tom Gilliland and Ricky Lovis in the studio, along with some amazing characters from the dead. This is super exciting. So Demethyl, the legendary scale figure, is in the house, and we will be doing live giveaways on the chat channels while all this is happening. What are these? We have some cool court swag. Can you see these? No, we can't see the things that I'm talking about, but you will later, and that's the important part, so keep watching. Besides the awesome special guest that we also have the Alex Ross He-Man and Skeletor lithograph set that we will be talking about. We will be doing a feature on the Prime 1. Okay, I'm not a fan, or I don't know about this game, so it's Geralt of Rivia?
I think so.
Geralt of Rivia. Okay, thank you. From The Witcher 3. I don't know how to pronounce it. And then we're also doing a feature on the Gotham Nightmare Batman. So that's a lot of stuff. So let's get started. We have Chicky, Jeremy, and Kitty in the chat channels today. Kitty will be shouting out questions as always. Be sure to be asking and participating in the chat channels because, like I said earlier, we're going to be doing live giveaways in the chat. So the more you participate, the more chance that we'll see your name and get excited about you and possibly you'll win. So speaking of things I can't pronounce, we have a featured collector this week, and I feel like they're trying...
We're trying to get the graphic up.
You're trying to get the graphic up?
Yeah.
Okay.
There we go.
All right. Well, the featured collector is Frank, and his last name, I'm so sorry for the pronunciation I'm about. It's Frank Valsalakopoulos.
Nailed it.
Yeah.
He's a Marvel guy.
He's a big Marvel collector, and really your collection, your comic collection is awesome. So does it really matter how I said your name?
Yay, Frank!
Yay, Frank! You have a rad collection. Of course, if you would like to be a featured collector and featured on our show, and you can listen to me butcher your name live on camera, you can go to sideshow.com/blog and click apply now. We love seeing all of your collections. So big, small, if you're just starting out, we like to see the first couple pieces. So yeah, just please send us those featured collections. News this week.
Oh my gosh. Seems like there was a lot of news.
There was a ton of news. We had Patty Jenkins is back for Wonder Woman 2. With a bigger paycheck, so good on her, right? Yeah, that's amazing. And then we had, well, I mean, let's face it, there was a ton of Apple news. So like before we get into the Star Wars stuff, there was a ton of Apple news as well, including face recognition, retinal scanning. I mean, we're like in the future, you guys. Yeah, the iPhone X has facial recognition. There's no home button anymore. It scans your face to unlock your phone.
I have a mirror at home that does the same thing.
Apparently Tom has a mirror that does the same thing, which...
For $1,000.
Yeah. Yeah, and the watch is now officially like a Dick Tracy / I think of it as a Penny from Inspector Gadget, who has the like,
right.
You know, yeah.
Penny from Inspector Gadget.
I loved Inspector Gadget as a kid. Yeah,
Next.
Penny from Inspector Gadget. I thought she was rad. Penny and Brain. Come on, it was all about them. Anyway, Dr. Claw had the gray cat. Anyway, so. That, like, you can call people and text on your watch now. So we really are in the science fiction future. So now Star Wars news. We have JJ. JJ Abrams is back. JJ Abrams is back for episode 9. And we got a release date of December 20th for episode 9. December 20th, 2019?
Yes.
2019.
That's going to be a busy holiday.
I know, right? Because 2019 in May is also the Avengers. So that's going to be a great toy season. like think about all the collectibles and collections and toys. Oh, and all the porgs. Yeah.
Star Wars is a holiday affair now.
Star Wars is a holiday affair. Yeah. I mean, Han Solo is a May release, right? Is Han Solo a May release? I'm pretty sure it is. Somebody should. Anyway, but episode 8 is in a few months. We're less than 100 days because we posted about the 100 days because Star Wars did a video.
That was like a week ago.
Mm-hmm.
So we're like
93 days. 94. I don't know.
I don't know.
Anyway, we have a video to show you guys, and when we come back, we will have the Alex Ross He-Man and Skeletor lithograph set to talk about. You're watching Sideshow Live. We will be right back.
It's just you and me.
Today, the real question is how many times am I going to smack my head into this sword? Because I've almost done it twice since they moved it out here. So if the sword is made of real metal, so I could we could have like a really big accident happening on Sideshow Live right now.
Right. We'll let the court team take over then.
Yeah. And then maybe I can be an underworld character. We'll see. Anyway, hi guys. We are back with the Alex Ross He-Man and Skeletor lithograph set. We don't have those here right now, but we do have really cool images to show you on the screen. So let's take a look at those. He-Man and Skeletor, the lithograph set, is Alex Ross's interpretation of these characters, and it is obviously a must-have for fans of Masters of the Universe. It is limited edition to only 25 pieces, and they're all hand-signed by Alex Ross. Pre-orders will... Okay, first off, you can only get these in the set. So you have to get the set. You can't get one or the other. That's how we're just doing a set this time. So pre-orders begin Friday, September 15th. That's this Friday, 2 days from now, between noon and 3 p.m. Pacific time, and they are unframed only. So these guys only come in a set, and they only come unframed. The kind of really amazing thing about these is it's the first time they've ever been printed this way, because previously it was only on his sketchbook from 2014. So as you can see, there's the He-Man and there's the Skeletor, but this is the only time they...
125 pieces, right?
100? Did I say 25?
You said 25.
Oh, well that would have been...
I'm sitting back here, I'm like, whoa, that's really limited.
That is super limited. 125.
Still
That's
limited.
still a really low number. However... oh my god. Oh my gosh. Wow, I'm just thinking of like the riot that will ensue if there were only 25 of anything. But yes, 125 pieces hand signed by Alex Ross himself. On sale this Friday, 2 days from now, September 15th, from between noon and 3 p.m. Only as a set, only unframed. There is a contest happening right now on the RSVP page, so go to sideshow.com/AlexRossMotu. That's AlexRossMotu. Alex Ross Motu. And you can enter for your chance to win. And obviously, if you're not on the Sideshow art print page yet on Facebook, you really, really need to be, because that's the first place we put up. So if you want one of the 125 pieces, you definitely want...
We spelled a link wrong in the graphic.
Oh.
So it's just Alex Ross MOTU, unlike the graphic which says not that.
Okay, so it's Alex Ross MOTU. The graphic was spelled wrong, but it's Alex Ross Motu. So ALEXROSSMOTU, Masters of the Universe. And these are, of course, the Masters of the Universe 5th scale statues that we have here that will go lovely with your Alex Ross set. I really dig the Snake Mountain base, gonna be honest, on Skeletor right here. So for all latest news about the for Sideshow art prints, you're gonna want to follow the Facebook page. That's where everything goes up first there. So that's Facebook.com/Sideshow art prints. So we have another video. And when we come back, we have the Prime 1 Witcher statue to show you. This was displayed at Comic-Con this year. And yeah, let's watch a video and then we'll be right back. You're watching Sideshow Live. Hey guys, welcome back.
Hey!
What's up? I feel like I have to be loud for some reason. Do I have to be loud? Probably not. I'm always loud, kind of. Anyway, this is Geralt of Rivia. Rivia? Who was the one that knew? Yeah, Geralt of Rivia. Okay, from The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt. He's really big. Ooh, we have a tape measure.
We do.
He is 25 inches tall. And is this a three-eyed ram? Yeah.
Yeah.
He has at least 3 eyes.
You can measure from horn to horn.
From horn to horn. Let's do that. 19 inches. So that's width. That's what Dave... I never remember what's Dave Igo's terminology because it's different than what I have in my notes.
I think Dave's terminology.
Depth is this way.
Right.
So then width. Okay.
He didn't like length.
Oh, he didn't like length. He liked depth.
Yes.
That's right. Okay. That's why we have the wild. Anyway, so this is a collaboration between Prime 1 Studio and CD Projekt Red. It is limited edition to 1,000 pieces. I'm going to give him a little bit of a spin so that way you can see him from all sides. This has that really cool, can you zoom in on his face? Because it has the cool translucent resin that they use to make skin look more realistic. So this is inspired by Geralt's appearance in The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt. Clearly, it's a wild hunt. There's a 3-eyed ram head that he's standing on. And let's not forget the guts, because there are guts in the back. So in case you're wondering, like, does this ram, like, what is the bone that holds the ram's? Yeah, the vertebrae. I knew that had it. I was like, the spinal column thing. Wow, I sound dumb today. Anyway, I used up all my brain earlier. This game won over 250 Game of the Year awards, and it's meticulously crafted to show Geralt defeating a ferocious beast. I feel like that's an understatement. Like, this thing is just really cool and gross. And I'm obsessed with the way the blood looks. I know that's a weird thing to say, but the blood looks like liquid, you know? It's all gooey and stuff.
All those Prime 1 pieces at Comic-Con, remember with the
Yeah,
blood and the water?
all the Prime 1.
Spin it a little more.
Yeah, the Prime 1 goo, and they do the water effects really well because the blood looks like this whole statue looks like it'd be sticky, but it's not. It's a regular statue. He is, see, high quality translucent resin for a lifelike skin effect. See, I remember that from Comic-Con. He was on display at Comic-Con, so I remember the few little tidbits that we got to learn about them. So the final specs on him are to be determined since this is a prototype and it is very fragile. Wow. The sword is really cool too. I don't know.
2 swords.
He has 2 swords. I don't know anything about the video game at all, so I don't know what these runes and resins.
One of the swords is made of silver for killing
like
supernatural
werewolves?
creatures, and
One-
the other one he uses for just normal sword stuff.
Okay, so Kitty was saying that one of the swords is made of silver specifically for supernatural creatures, and the other one is just like a sword,
People,
just for
animals.
for people and animals. Oh wow, have you played the games?
All 3.
Do you like them?
Yeah, they're
Okay.
really good.
Awesome. The producer really loves all 3 of the games. So I'm a really big, I love watching people play video games, but I don't play them because I'm very bad at them. But I do like really good stories in video games. So maybe
Hashtag you got nerded.
hashtag you got nerded. I totally got nerded. That's totally fine. Anyway, this guy has a lot of different textures on him. And his short link is sideshow.com/Geralt, spelled Geralt. Geralt. He is currently available on pre-order. Like I said, this is a prototype, and he is very fragile.
Not a prototype.
It's
coming out this month.
It says prototype
No,
all
I know,
over.
but
Oh,
no, it's wrong.
okay. The notes are wrong. So British.
Jeremy is right.
So Jeremy is right, and British Note Man is wrong. Therefore, he is coming out this month, apparently, and this is a shipping sample, so he's not fragile. I'll just throw him off the table.
No. Hold on.
I'm kidding. I would never do that. Not on camera, anyway. Anyway, but can we still go to sideshow.com/Geralt and pre-order him? Yes, we can. So sideshow.com/Geralt, and you can pre-order him. He is expected to ship within this month or next month. So yeah, this is a shipping sample. I like the chains also. There's just so many details on him that are very, very cool. So we have an inside look at the Gotham Nightmare collection, and then we're going to bring out the Gotham Nightmare Batman that you guys have seen on the show before, but he's pre-ordering tomorrow, so we wanted to give you guys one more fresh look at him before he pre-orders. So you're watching Sideshow Live. We'll be right back.
Out of the darkness comes this vigilant force of justice, and it's not a knight in shining armor that's rolling up. It's, the Lord of Darkness for the most part.
If the Scarecrow gas kind of got out, like, how would you see some of these characters? What makes these the ultimate nightmare incarnation of each character?
The angle that we were going for, especially with the two characters that we're leading this project with, is how does Batman see himself, in that vigilante enforcer of justice? How do the criminals sort of see him? In this particular case, the sort of demonic, vampiric, dark entity perspective.
The Batman is like a bat creature. We want it so when you see him from a distance, when you see him sitting on your shelf like 15, 20 feet away, you're like, oh, it's Batman. But as you get closer and closer, it's revealed it's not a guy in a suit, it's not his cape, it's a bat creature.
Simon Lee did a cool exploration of what the character could be. And then when it got to me, David told me I had the freedom to actually, take that and massage it and actually be a little creative and put everything together. So it was a pretty awesome experience to work with those guys and come up with something unique.
His original suit was blue and gray and black, and I think we've done a good job of marrying those characters together, the creature side and the Batman. So he's kind of on the more pale side, which is great because it translates to when you look at the Bathead replacement, he's not warm. You get a sense that he's this kind of like undead creature of the night.
Batman just has such a diverse group of characters that can all be based a little bit in a horror. The idea of how these people perceive like the worst version of them. And as horror fans at Sideshow, I think that was the one that made a little more sense, where it matched.
The Joker is the ultimate villain for Batman just because he's so insane and he's willing to do anything to hurt him.
We went less with a monstrous interpretation as sort of the Batman is perceived, and took the insanity and kind of made his entire makeup a sort of tableau of bas-relief Easter eggs of the entirety of the Joker's kind of incarnation.
The way it was described to me is like what we want is a very organic, sort of a collage-like melange of all the elements in the Joker's of his life and his character are going to be intermeshed into his body. What could I really emphasize? What could I really bring to the forefront as far as like resonant imagery, things that would be recognizable and impactful, and still make some kind of bizarre, have some sort of rhyme and reason within the Joker's anatomy as well.
And so that bridged wonderfully to Martin Canale, who took over the art direction at that point, and then steered it further. And you've got two different portraits, one that really reflects Martin's design ethic, and one that still holds the core notion of what Paul was channeling. So you can kind of decide for yourself which version of the nightmare you kind of caught into.
We take the Joker and make him an amalgam of everything Gotham. Like everything that makes the Joker Joker, even Batman Batman, because to me, he is the worst of everything in Gotham.
The beauty of pop culture and some of these titanic icons like Batman or otherwise sort of sets the table for you to continue to blossom this out, because it does not take away from the genesis core of the character.
It is cool to take Batman and his long legacy in history and kind of like find the things that we want to bring to this. We have an awesome team here. We got to work with some AAA talent on both these projects, and you just got to see the best come out of all the artists involved in it.
I think those two pieces right there are going to be definitely some of the coolest Batman statue pieces to ever be done.
I think that these pieces that we do in this regard really radiate with a uniqueness to Sideshow's offerings. There are certainly a number of other characters with more than enough skeletons in their closet for us to pull a few loose threads in their psyche and develop something else that will complement what we're already putting forth.
Hey everyone, welcome back to Sideshow Live. That was a long video, but it was a really, really good one because it was an introduction to our Gotham Nightmare collection, which I don't know about you, but I'm really, really excited about this entire concept. The entire concept. I'm going to start spinning around Nightmare Batman while we talk about it a little bit. If you were hit with Scarecrow gas, how would you see the characters in Gotham? Like, how would you see Batman? How would you see Joker? Those are the only two I can talk about right now, but those are the two that, those are pretty scary. Like, I mean, thinking about just the concept of a man who's dressed as a bat, who's like coming at you and thinks he's going to save you, but like you've been hit with Scarecrow gas, which makes all of your worst fears a reality, So that's amazing. So they try, we've had him on the show before. He was at Comic-Con? Yeah. He was totally at Comic-Con. Wow. We have so many new things at Comic-Con that I just can't keep track. So he was at Comic-Con, he's been on the show, and this is kind of like a blending of organic material to make like Batman has real wings instead of a cape, and like how do you make that a thing? And we kind of blended him perfectly. I love once we get around, all the way back around. Just gonna keep going, making this awkward. Yeah. Is it weird yet? It's weird. Now it's pretty weird. But the bat signal, how they did the bat signal, the way it looks like it's like ripped muscle tissue in a way, like stretched skin across his chest, that's a bat. So this is the Nightmare version. Maybe this is how criminals see him. I feel like if Scarecrow huffed his own gas, this is how he would see him. So even the gargoyle that he's standing on is changing and reaching forward and has actual bats like creepy crawling out the back. I need to see, I keep talking about stuff that is on the opposite side of the turntable from where I am. So see all the creepy crawly bats creeping out the back? Yeah?
Hunter on Facebook wants to know, are the wings translucent or is that just the paint job?
That's the paint job. That's just a really awesome paint job. Hunter on Facebook wanted to know if the wings are actually translucent or if this is the paint job, and it is in fact the paint job. A lot of people on YouTube are asking like about other Nightmare characters. We can't talk about them yet, but they would be very scary indeed. So he has an alternate portrait, which is the exclusive, and that's the demonic bat creature swap out head. It also comes with this nice little pedestal to display him, so you actually can display him like all together all at once instead of having to like swap out both portraits. It's, I think, a really great, like, I like the idea of being able to display both portraits in a very nice way in your collection. So there you go. He pre-orders tomorrow. This is like one of the most popular RSVP items from Comic-Con. So just so you guys, for everyone who's been waiting, Nightmare Batman pre-orders tomorrow, September 14th, between noon and 3 p.m. Pacific time. So if you are on that very long RSVP list, you are definitely going to want to jump on that tomorrow, especially to get this exclusive. I think it's a really great exclusive. This is super cool looking. I like that the pedestal for the exclusive portrait fits in with the base, and it's all just thematic, so it can all go together. This is awesome. So someone says, what's the deal with the cod piece? It's a belt not so much a cod piece, because he is supposed to be like a man bat, and it looks like it's made of some sort of bone material, which is really cool, because the whole idea is like, this is how you see Batman if he was just like a person who came at you. Anyway.
We also have someone on Facebook asking for clarification. The wings are sculpted.
The wings are sculpted.
They're
Yes.
not a fabric material.
No, the wings are sculpted. The wings are sculpted and painted very delicately and very, like, awesomely. I can't think of a better description, because if you take a look at the back of the wings, they look like wings. They don't look like a cape. So that's cool. Awesome. So, if you would like to RSVP to Nightmare Batman, you can go to sideshow.com/BatmanNightmare. That's sideshow.com/BatmanNightmare and join the RSVP list for this very popular item. He goes on pre-order tomorrow, September 14th, between noon and 3 p.m. Pacific time. Any more questions? Hi.
Do we know how much he's going to be? And the answer is...
Do we know how much he is going to be?
$525.
He is going to be $525 for the exclusive. $525 for the exclusive. $510 for the collector's edition. Yes, very cool. And that's sideshow.com/BatmanNightmare. We have a video, and then we're going to bring in the Underworld. The Underworld's going to take over the show. Yeah. So you're watching Sideshow Live. We'll be right back. Are squishing together to be in camera. Oh my gosh. Hi, guys.
Hi.
Hi. This is Tom Gilliland. You know him because he's been on the show before and because he created all of this. He's the mastermind behind the Court of the Dead. And this is Ricky Lovas, who has not been on the show before, but you might know him from the Court of the Dead blog, where he has created a playlist for Court of the Dead. Yeah.
Exciting.
Yeah, that's your claim to fame.
Mr. Rock and Roll.
So we brought you on here to talk a little bit more about the court and specifically about Demethyl right here. So who is Demethyl and what is his origin?
So Demethyl in the Underworld is kind of the fixtured hero of the Underworld. It's sort of the court and the mourners of the Underworld look at him as kind of the kind of like the Lancelot or whatnot, if we're talking about flipped scripts, which is what court is all about. Yeah. So, and in this anti-hero world, we wouldn't necessarily look at that and instinctively say, wow, hero. But to them, that's where their hopes and for sort of liberation from the celestial oppression is going to come from.
Oh wow!
He's preparing to lead their armies into battle against both heaven and hell. And so we've been working on, developing that storytelling through some of our publishing, further to kind of show that, what his origin kind of is. And it's going to be a part of one of the next books we're working on.
That's awesome. So this is an illustrated novel?
It's an illustrated novel, yeah. So it has sort of incremental black and white plates that are kind of sort of stylized to kind of show you
like an
parts
school,
of the sequences. Yeah,
like an old school, like
definitely
like leather
stuff that I remember.
Book.
Yeah,
yeah, totally. Yeah. Ooh,
yeah, there's
see?
one right there. Yeah, so this kind of shows the Alltaker and kind of the point of origin of Demethyl.
Wow.
These are all chapter 1 pieces. So this was done by Rachel Rubchek on staff and one of our most dedicated
biggest fan.
This. There we go. Oh, the mics. Oh,
which is the mic?
This is the mic.
Oh yeah, the camera. This is a camera.
That's a camera, and this is a mic.
I've been looking at this the whole time. Hi, everybody.
So
I'll work on that.
what kind of challenges does Demethyle face as he reaps souls and
Well, so that's
saves?
kind of the challenge of all the Underworld rules is that they're sort of trying to figure out how to create this slave rebellion to get out from underneath the celestial oppression, but at the same time, their own dark nature is this kind of their worst enemy. So Demethyle and that the harvesting of souls sort of leaves this sort of challenge on all these reapers. It's not necessarily something they want to do. They have to do it. They're forced to do it. But they're seeking ways within themselves to kind of not be taken over by this thing called the Dread's Grip, which is essentially their destructive natures taking them over and subverting their agency so they're no longer conscious.
Oh my gosh.
So Demethyle's trial in this illustrated novel we're going to do, which is got kind of a bone theme, so we're going to do 3 of them. They'll be factional themes.
Cool.
Demethyle's the first one. And it sort of chronicles in a sort of Arthurian knight tale, if sort of you could assume Death as King Arthur and Demethyle as Lancelot, with a touch of the sort of trials of Hercules. So it's sort of broken into 4 sections in the book.
Okay.
And you go from kind of how he was created to how he starts to sort of experience the world he's been thrust into and how he's reaching for that noble goal of achieving sort of the mantle of, kind of carrying the hopes of the underworld to sort of liberate itself and in proxy liberate the mortal realm as well.
Oh, wow.
Just a little modest story.
And then what are these?
So in between the gaps on the black and white art that sort of transitions through each chapter, there's two big master color pieces that have been done by Fabian Schlager or whatnot. And these are sort of big pieces that sort of benchmark what's happening in each chapter and sort of document how he's progressing through the story. So these will be big landscape spreads that go across both the spreads. So as you're going through and reading the story, the payoff is like any chapter you get through and say, oh, the big color payoff.
Oh my gosh.
Which helps kind of, for us establish the world and give you more imagery to kind of see court the way we're trying to sort of conjure it. At the same time, kind of ride along with the, reading the book itself.
Awesome.
And this is kind of our first chance, too, to also do sort of an actual true narrative. So Chronicle is more of a universe handbook, and this is definitely a story.
Wow.
And one that's longer, deeper than anything we've been able to do to date with sort of the smaller little comic, little day in the life type, or night in the afterlife. That's of the omnibus or whatnot. So kind of excited to be able to work towards more payoff of, what is the story behind all these statues. And, to that point, we've been working on a lot of different publishing pieces, and it's pretty exciting. In fact, we just spent, on a side note, the last 2 days working on playtesting the board game we're working on with Project Raygun. So
that's super exciting.
It's been all court this week.
So that's what, so I walked into the creative offices and I was like, what are they all doing?
What, you're playing games on work time?
What?
His cod piece is falling.
Oh, the piece blast off.
Oh, there we go. It's not keyed in over here.
It's kind of a shabby hero there.
There we go.
Shabby chic.
There we go.
Fighting in the underworld stuff tends to fall off.
It wasn't keyed in.
Fortunately, you can stick it back on.
Right.
So when will these novels be available? Or when will Demethyle's novel be available?
This one's going to be hopefully next Comic-Con we'll have it. This one only. The other ones are to be determined. But Demethyle should be ready for Comic-Con along with another 100-page graphic novel as well.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So now it says in my notes, Tom and Ricky will talk about painting.
Oh. Talk about painting. So,
how about Tom?
This is a painting that we did with a concept artist that we've known for a couple of years, a good friend, Vincent Prost.
Prost.
So this is intended to be the cover for the book.
Oh, wow. So that painting is the cover of the Demethyle book.
Exactly.
Wow.
So you sort of see him, again, it's got that sort of knight in shining armor kind of look. And around him are sort of the hopes and whatnot of the mortars of the underworld that are really like, you've got to be the one that helps save us.
That's so cool.
And this is actually, so this is also what's cool about this is that, this is an actual oil painting. So,
oh my God.
A lot of things that we do for court, we try and do in the traditional.
Yeah.
So there's a little bit of that, not just nostalgic, but the kind of old world sense of things, which is a lot of what the underworld sort of celebrates about the mortal world, is all of this sort of craftsmanship and artistry that goes into the things we make leaves an imprint on them. So to do the book cover in classic oils or whatnot and have it actually be a physical painting is pretty exciting, and we're pretty excited to work on Vincent on this.
So JJ in YouTube wants to know who gets to keep the original.
We had to steal off Tom's wall for this.
They literally took it off Tom's wall for this, so I think Tom gets to keep
I have
it.
the most weapons in my office of this whole place.
That's true. Tom has challenged anybody who wants to come get it. He has the most weapons in the entire office. So if you would like to
that's
try,
not a real challenge.
I mean,
Chris knows.
It's a friendly reminder that Tom has weapons in his office.
We're all friends, right?
Yeah, totally. Yeah, exactly.
Oh, come back in?
So come back in. Yeah.
All right.
Cool. So now let's talk about Exalted Reaper Legendary Scale figure. Wow.
So
this is him.
There it is.
There he is, right here.
So this piece has actually been, this is one of the earliest court pieces we did. It actually came out originally when we had it was sort of straddling the dead and the origin of Court of the Dead.
He's not on a turntable, guys. Oh, his hand is in front of his face.
There you go.
There we go. Yeah, he's all good. I'm impressed by his costume fabrication at this point because I haven't gotten the chance to see that there's actual battle weathering and everything's worn out. There's mud from what I imagine is this battle that's on the bottom of the oil painting here that he's leading.
It's that one.
Is it really?
Right there.
That's amazing. Is it? No. You guys are making fun of me.
It's hundreds of battles.
Well, then wow. Okay, this seems like a good one to measure, right?
Yeah,
right?
Absolutely.
He is over 30 inches tall. He's like a little bit above 30.
The show notes say 30 3/4.
That's probably exactly right, but I can't see that. I can't read a tape measure that close. A question for the Court of the Dead guys. Are you fans of Kentaro Murira's Berserk?
You know what? I've only been on the periphery of that. I do love animes and whatnot, but I'm kind of older, so some of them are from way back when, like, was it like Ninja Scroll and things like that? So
Ninja Scroll's great, though.
But Berserk is always one people have pointed me at, and I just haven't had the time to digest, but I think I just saw it the other day. I thought it was on Netflix, and I thought I moved it into my line list, so it's funny that comes up, but 'cause that's been something I've been looking to go attach to, so clearly someone's repping it. So
I'm not familiar with it.
Yes. And then this is a legendary scale figure. I saw someone asking the scale of the figure. So yes, this is legendary scale.
Yeah, once you get over 2 feet and you've got this much intricacy and detail, that kind of is what really sort of makes that justification from premium format
to legendary
scale. Format.
This is just also insanely detailed. Every piece, like every detail on a court piece means something. This is what I've learned from looking at all the court pieces.
Yeah, I mean, the characters kind of collect bits and baubles and stuff as, we collect watches and bracelets or whatnot. So, I mean, when you look at the ends of the chains, like every little bauble has a little sort of skull that's been repurposed into kind of an artful sort of a shape and whatnot.
Yeah, and then there's one over here. Yeah, that's so cool. I feel like we have a question from Facebook.
Yeah, John on Facebook wants to know if the cover art will ever be made as a premium art print.
Right up here, the one we were just talking about? Yeah, no, that is definitely in the plan. So probably as we get closer to the book, leading in with that.
So John,
it's going to make a fabulous print. I mean, you can sort of see it here, but the lush black of this thing with everything kind of pushing off of it is going to be with the print quality that we're achieving at this point. We can get every detail off this oil painting, so it should be a real reward.
That's amazing. So Joe Lombardo wants to know, for Tom and Ricky, what was your most influential character growing up?
Before you answer that, you guys both just...
Sure.
They're afraid of me. It's fine.
I think that's
any
easy.
character.
The Man with No Name, Clint Eastwood. That captivated me as a kid. Westerns were always my thing. That and war movies, which was weird that I ended up getting into croupier stuff later.
I really don't think it is.
I think it was heavy metal music in junior high that set off me in this direction.
That's what corrupts us all.
Oh, it fixes us all.
Yeah. It makes everything
tunes
interesting.
us to the right frequency.
Exactly.
I don't know if I necessarily have one. I've always kind of erred on the side of the villains, T-1000 and Vader. So it's
the T-1000 and Vader.
Well,
you wanted to be a policeman? I don't know.
Yeah. I just love his relentlessness. Like,
oh, okay. Well, that makes sense.
I like the shape-shifting ability,
no
like
there.
with the fingers and stuff. Anyway.
So it's cool that we get to take
a lot of utility.
What people look at the villains
absolutely.
and make them the heroes this time, but
yeah. And Court of the Dead pieces are so detailed. How long does it normally take to make a Court of the Dead piece?
The process of design is usually about a month, 6 weeks. I mean, we have to, if we're starting from scratch and we just have the title and the notion of what this character ought to be, we're going to explore through that. There's a lot of illustration and stuff. The actual pieces themselves are similar to everything that we do here at Sideshow. So, sculpture and all the paint, the molding, and all the fabrication that goes into it is generally about a 6 to 8 month process. Slowly, incrementally moving through it stage by stage. I mean, if we were to work on it all in, with no other distraction.
You didn't have anything else to
do. Well, everything we do is kind of in a sort of assemblage.
But also you guys do it very methodically too. Like it's telling a story through a piece like this. Like this is how you initially told the Court of the Dead stories, was through the statues. So stuff like that.
Well, it helps when you have something like Comic-Con that like pressurizes you to like, hey, we have to get 5 of these done in 3 months, and the entire staff rolls their eyes and threatens to quit. So,
speaking of Comic-Con, that is when this Demethyl book is coming out. Jezariah wanted to know when the book was coming out. It's coming out for next year's Comic-Con, so 2018's Comic-Con. So you can get all this gorgeous artwork, all these black and whites, and then the colors in 2018 for Comic-Con.
Yeah. So we had someone who was curious about the 2 different Gethsemane PFs. They want to know if there's a story behind the change in her tattoos.
Yes. So, Gethsemane is not just the queen of the dead, she's also the head of the Flesh faction. The Flesh faction is all about adaptation and manipulation. So the aspect of her, and even, in the mythology, different people can see her and will see her slightly differently. So you can kind of project what you want to see. She may be older, different racial types. If you're mortal, whatever you would see. So the way we've sort of fixtured it at this point is that she's in the changeover. She's gone from sort of regal court, administrator to more the shaper of flesh, where she's actually now helping to fabricate new mourners in the underworld. So the tattoo went from a harder edged, more defined kind of ribcage kind of, concept to one that was more, liquefied and a little bit more loose in its form, to sort of suggest that now she's in more of a kind of a creative state. And the notion that she's kind of pulling up and sort of shaping and matching flesh with a sort of ethereal magic component of the universe to create a new entity creates that sort of break from I'm large and in charge and now I'm doing my job.
Wow.
Dave Smith in YouTube wants to know if you guys ever have nightmares about the characters that you've created.
Only from developing them.
Nightmares about meeting the deadlines. No, I mean, I think the thing that, for me, the property was sort of, celebrating that kind of Clint Eastwood anti-heroism, that notion that, you can struggle against a dark nature and strive to be good, which I feel like, in a hero's journey is actually a little tougher to try and achieve than just, you came out of the mold, you're good, all you have to do is make sure you just follow the roadmap. I don't know, that's not as interesting to me. So I find the challenge of this and the notion of sort of not sort of having a predetermined sort of notion of something, like don't judge the book by its cover, judge it by its actions. So while it may be frightening on the surface, most of these characters are really struggling and or succeeding in pushing forth a greater sense of their nobility in what it is they're trying to achieve, not what they were necessarily made to do.
And who's your favorite character within the court? Do you have one? I mean, that's like picking children, literally.
It is kind of like that. I mean, but but the Alt-Taker and Demethyl are kind of fixtures for me that kind of really sort of represent the notion of that sort of quest for nobility over nature and whatnot. And I think that that's an aspect of even our own mortality I think is something that, not just appealing, but feels like it's part of the life quest to kind of do better. So
I would say Cleopsis. One, offer somewhat Egyptian aesthetic, and the other reason I can't really talk about. So. Don't want to spoil things.
It's more pre-Egyptian. It's supposed to be
Yeah.
Atlantean times, and that's what influenced Egypt.
Exactly.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah. Have you guys predetermined how many characters are going to be in the court, or is this more of a continuous flowing type of series?
I think the court it's definitely a flowing series, but we are kind of getting to the point where we're kind of we have most of the mainstay real movers and drivers of the court. Something that we're getting into now is the celestial end of it, so the enemy. So we're looking at pieces that deal with the hierarchs of both heaven and hell, and something that then would represent the dread script, which in the underworld is these things called rakers, which are essentially mourners that have been transformed by their dark side, or things that just the destructive aura of the underworld have sort of found its way into the matrix and popped in there, like the monsters of the wilderness.
Oh my god. Well, Tobias in YouTube wants to know if you guys are ever going to make statues of the good guys, or the angels.
Oh, so the good guys.
Yeah, these are the good guys.
The good guys. Yeah,
that's why I did good guys.
Yeah, so I mean, in this, the celestial realm is really the same thing. They just split and called themselves two different things, but they're the same side of the same bad, corrupt coin.
Yeah.
And that is what we were talking about.
Yeah.
So we're going to do that. That's something that all things goes to plan. That would be part of what we're showing at Comic-Con next year.
Wow, that's awesome.
So that will be nice, because then we can actually we'll have the complete bookend of what's in their universe.
So we know what you're going to do 3 months out from Comic-Con.
Yes.
But you don't know what it looks like.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah. So Viper JJR wants to know what types of materials are used for the costumes. That should have been a question last week for Tim, guys. But
we do know. I mean, specifically, I mean, generally what we're looking for is, we're working with Tim and Esther when we're putting these together is, things that either have texture, or especially when it's court, we're looking for stuff that has a sense of opulence, but also a sense of kind of the age and the sort of not quite the rot, but like the wear.
But yeah,
like when you look at,
but they've been through stuff. Like they've fought battles. I mean, when you're talking someone like in the Flesh faction, they've gone through literal changes throughout their storyline. So yeah, you have to, and I think you've achieved it, especially because I'm getting very familiar
keep
with
your hands off that thing.
Yeah, no, I can't. I just really, it's very tactile. Thank you.
There you go.
It's very tactile.
Well, that's what we're looking for. Is fabrics that have a lot of kind of tooth or grain to them often feel like they've got a little antiquity and whatnot.
Oh, for sure.
They're a little
Even
richer
especially
to touch.
this too. I don't know how close you can get
It's
in
like
on this.
filigree or whatnot.
Yeah,
over some,
it's like
and the front and back is slightly different. So.
A piece of a tapestry or something that was
nice too, because a lot of Demethal doesn't celebrate this as much, but some of the other characters, when we get to do actual prints,
like
like
a Varkas.
Varkas's cape.
Oh, I love the cape on a Varkas.
And Shard's cape.
We have a question.
Are the collectors going to see any of these figures in 6th scale? And can you also talk about the statuettes that we debuted at Comic-Con?
So sixth scale. How do you say that all day long?
I don't.
Is
I do that.
Is something that we've considered and continue to do so. The statuettes, the 9th scale stuff that we showed at Comic-Con is still something that we are trying to make some determinations on. The intended goal was to do them in really rich hard PVC, so that they'd be what we were looking for primarily was something that size-wise could be more easily digested into collections. I think you hear often that we love these colossal pieces. There's only so many I can fit in my house. At the same time, there's also, of course, get a bigger house. Right?
Yeah, you just find
it's
room.
not that hard to solve. Entitlement 101.
Yeah, I was like, you're talking
anyway, but the other thing about statuettes was we were looking to get the price down into something that was going to float around about $119, which we were looking at some of the stuff that we see from other properties where they're doing some of these smaller but intricate, detailed statues. And it was like, oh, that'd be great for court, because it would also let us to do a bit broader range of the characters as well.
Yeah.
So we're still trying to figure out some of the dynamics of that. As you can imagine, once we get into plastics, there's more tooling involved, and so there's more expense. So we have to kind of weigh out, how far we're going to get with that strategy, as opposed to possibly making them in a slightly different format. My preference is to go as we showed them, and that's, as it stands, the way we're proceeding. So
You keep
lurching.
Yeah.
I like to move around.
That's fine.
Away.
It's
Go
fine.
away from the mic.
It's fine. The mic is just very directional, so the more we move away, the less.
Just hold it like a rock star?
Yeah, you can. You can just hold it like a rock star. We can, yeah.
And on the question of the statuettes, Devin on Facebook wants to know if these will be new designs for the characters or like scenes, or will they be smaller versions of the existing?
The current ones kind of reflect the benchmark version of Gethsemane's Isle and Kier. Ongoing ones will have more sort of shifts in design. So
and it can also give us a chance to explore some more secondary characters that we can't do at scale.
Yeah, so that was part of it as well. So we looked. That was another key feature. I'm glad that was asked, because part of the goal wasn't to just sort of kind of keep repeating it, and so they sort of mirrored one another. It was to launch with a thing. So a lot of folks were, couldn't afford the main characters and whatnot. These are much more accessible. Love that. So that checked that box. The other side of it was, in the same way that we were talking about the two Gethsemanes, it gives us a chance to show even wider ranges of differences. If some characters have, like Gethsemane, she has all manner of costume, changes her looks almost every day. So that gives us a lot of latitude to do stuff there. But we showed stuff like Poxel at this year's Comic-Con. That kind of character. There's a lot of other characters that sort of sit in the second row, if you will, of the court, and that's stuff that we can do more at that smaller scale or whatnot. So excited about that. So still a few questions to answer, and I can't wait to solve it for us and you.
So Jeanette in YouTube wants to know, I know Court of the Dead is the middleman, so to say, are you guys going to do like Dante's level of hell, level of heaven, to show the different levels of the factions of the good guys?
I think we're talking about representing the celestial end of it in sculpture, most certain. And I think as you start to see the publications that we're working on, you'll certainly see the sort of existential threat of what they represent and what they're starting to look like as that starts to bleed in. The other thing in the background of our publishing is to work on the novelization of the main story. So, and that's something we're just starting to get going with or whatnot. Getting the writer and everything dialed in is kind of, a bit of a challenge. So, but once that then is read, then I think a lot of this will get revealed through that process. But visually, we can certainly visually convey that. And I think throughout 2018, that's something that we're looking to sort of slowly strip-tease out. So.
And JJ wants to know, if you two could do anything knowing you would not fail, what would you do?
Like
anything.
related to this, or
It just says anything. It says anything.
I think I don't know. It's been done, but I would love to be like one of the first people to sort of explore the Amazon or something, crazy like that. What's that film just came out about the Fawcett Explorer? An adventure like that, I think, would kind of crown my existence at this point.
That's awesome.
I think I just can't do anything without failing.
Take note on your next review.
Sorry, there's like a lot. I keep like having to awkwardly look at questions because there's like a pile of statues in front of the screen. So this is not a court question, but Warhawk Legend 69 wants to know, Tom did a video with a quarter scale Tron light cycle, and what happened to it?
Wow.
What happened?
Man.
Jeremy, if you would ask him, that would be cool. You're Jeremy.
I thought we took care of all those people. All right.
We got rid of the
We're going to come see you in about a half hour. No, unfortunately, the Tron cycle was, in the 22 years we've been working on these things, there are some casualties of the development process that either we got ahead of ourselves or we got ahead of what our factory capacity might be. And I think that Tron cycle was one of those pieces, unfortunately, that just proved that we could do it, but we couldn't at that time kind of connect it with an overseas partner that could sort of pull it off in the same way. It's unfortunate because that stuff has all more or less been solved now. But I think that's something at this point that, you know, our focus has sort of shifted more, and certainly, you know, with this new raft of mega films from all the big benchmark studios pretty much dominating the scene, it doesn't give us too many chances to go back to that.
I saw a YouTube comment go by about a court RPG and how much the YouTube tabletop RPG and how much the YouTube commenters would like to have one of those.
1,000% into that.
Yeah, I was going to say
so
we should talk.
We're working, trying to figure out how we can get that worked out. I think there's, you know, the aspect of right now we're working on the, you know, our focus is on getting this board game right with Project Raygun, largely because the board game kind of tells the macro 10,000 foot story of what's going on, what are they facing, and all these things. Whereas the RPG would be awesome because that lets you kind of explore the world more and do it with your own agency, which I love that idea. I always had that in mind for this project. So it's just a question of time and bandwidth.
Someday.
And yeah, I mean, again, when somebody asks if you could do anything, I kind of put this RPG thing on the list, to be honest. But and also have the time to play it myself. That would be nice too.
Yeah. We can do after our sideshow.
I think a little patience is all we'd be asking for in that, because I think that's something that is kind of, I would put on the inevitable list.
Tell us about the Project Raygun game.
What? Project Raygun game?
Jeremy wants to know about the Project Raygun.
So it's going to be a big format tabletop board game. It's focused largely on the kind of, like I said, that sort of 10,000 foot thing. So it's not quite a miniature battle thing. More so, it's a sort of a bit of intrigue, a bit of influence peddling between the factions or whatnot, and your goal as a sort of mourner, mover, and shaker on the scene is to try to do your part to unite the factions and ready it by accumulating enough etheria, power, and troops and artifacts from within the underworld to actually face down heaven and hell and right the universe. So it's going to be sort of the first leg of the story. And the dynamic kind of has you working collaboratively with the other players to achieve that effect, while also trying to be the one who is the most influential.
So it's like Underworld Risk.
A little bit. Yeah, not as clunky with as many pieces, but there's more.
So it's smooth sailing.
Smooth Risk.
Smooth Risk.
It does have, the different figures on the board, like Risk, have different senses of agency. So there's kind of the Mortis Knights, which are sort of the Reapers and the Protectors of the Underworld. There's like the Conclave of Shadows, sort of spies or whatnot. So there's a number of different like smaller. We're trying to find a better word than minions. That are actually doing kind of the day-to-day work on it sort of all exists on kind of the map of the city. So if you have the Chronicle and you've had that map, it's going to take place on a lot, you'll see those locations, that'll be a part of it. You get a sense of how the Alltakers, structure works and how the factional, leaders are influencing things. And the game has a really sort of pressurized mechanic in it that you don't have forever to figure this out, because the Celestial Realm is either going to figure out what you're up to, or the Dread Script is going to subvert you and you're going to get wiped out. So it is one of those games that you can all lose together or all win as one.
So then I think the last question we have is, can you ask them if they would do their versions of Predator and Aliens? Which has nothing to do with
If
Court.
we would do, so like kind of a mythos take on Predator. Yeah, that actually is something that we talk about frequently. So I think there's already a few bets. If you look at the Alien King that we did, that's pretty much our first strike at sort of mythos approach to that property. Well, there are actually two properties, but a lot of us think of it as one. No one at the studio wants to hear that. So anyway, but that's an exciting thing for us. I think that mythos element is a little bit of the DNA of what goes into Court. Is kind of our own kind of getting involved in those things and giving a little back to these properties that have sort of turned our imagination over and bring something back to it. So you were talking earlier about the sort of Nightmare Batman, similar kind of take. So Aliens and Predator, very rich area for doing that, and we are definitely pursuing that further.
That's awesome. Do we have any more Court questions from the audience?
Ta-da.
All right. Well, thank you guys so much for being on the
bet.
show again, and Ricky for the first time. So So thank you guys for joining us. We will be back after the break with our normal Q&A and some giveaways. Giveaways. What? All right. Hey guys, what's up? That was a really amazing segment. I love every single time the court team comes on the show because every time I feel like they bring something new to the table and it's always just something brand new that I haven't learned.
I got chills when he was explaining Guess 70's tattoos. I was like, that was
I love that everyone sees her differently. Like, that makes so much sense to me because she would be the type of person, if she's flesh and she's ever changing and she's evolving, then yes, of course she appears differently every time we see her, or would appear differently to different people. So speaking of factions, right, we have two signets, pins. These are pins. These guys have fancy words for pins. The Facebook prize is the flesh, and the spirit is in YouTube. This is what you guys can enter for your chance to win. Just comment. Someone who comments will win.
People should figure out their faction if they don't know.
Yeah, I know. If you guys don't already know your faction, head on over to courtofthedead.com and you should take the faction quiz, and that'll sort you guys into factions. But yeah, it's kind of a cool thing because though I find I need to ask them this the next time they're on. What happens when, so I'm flesh faction, not flesh, I'm spirit faction, but all of my favorite characters are bone faction. Like, I love Xyle. I think Xyle is so cool looking, and she's a cat with a Victorian collar, and like that new character,
Pox is the best. Stop looking at our characters.
Yeah, I was gonna say we have Jeremy and Chicky are both bone. Dennis is bone. Kitty and I are spirit. Have you guys taken the quiz yet? Producer and Jimmy have to take the quiz, and the next time we come on this show to talk court, you better know your factions.
But the spirit faction is Kira and Oglavale. They're like two of my favorites too.
Yeah, but see,
Xyle is so cool.
Yeah, I was gonna say Xyle has a cat with a Victorian collar.
Oglavale has a dog named Scratch.
Yeah, but he has paws like this.
Well, okay then.
I mean, it weirds me out. Anyway, so British note taker man needs to he writes these funny notes in here now that says Susan needs to say, "My necklace? Well, funny you should ask, people of the internet. This is not product placement at all. This is Court of the Dead Underworld United medallion by Badali Jewelry. If you would like to grab one of your own, you should check it out at sideshow.com/medallion."
In his defense, a lot of people do ask about your fashion usually.
Oh, really?
So, yeah.
People ask about my fashion?
Yeah, you're always wearing a top and
well, this top I got at Disneyland. So head on over to Disneyland.
And that necklace.
And the necklace, oh my gosh, I didn't finish. I didn't say the most important part. The most important part is if you go to sideshow.com/medallion, right now you can get $20 off of this necklace using the promo code medallion. And it expires on 9/20 at 11 a.m. So it lasts for a week. It basically lasts until next live show. So yeah, my necklace, funny you should ask, people of the internet. Has anybody? Yeah, I enjoy this. I also enjoy making fun of British note taker man, so it works out. So Bill LaHecca wants to know, will there be any Spooktacular kits this year? Unfortunately, Bill, there will not be Spooktacular kits this year. Sorry. But I have dates. The official dates of Spooktacular. Sideshow Spooktacular 2017 will take place October 23rd through October 22nd. And look, I got a doodle of a pumpkin. 27th.
Hopefully there's nothing else interesting on that paper.
Spooktacular October 23rd to October 22nd and a doodle of a pumpkin.
Okay.
Was I giving away classified information?
No, I just hope there wasn't no.
Someone ripped a page out of my notebook, and so I was hoping there was secrets. Secrets
like
are no fun.
Like the fact that, so sometimes we do team building exercises, and we learned like facts about our teammates today. Like the fact that Kitty got called Batgirl in 2nd grade. It was her nickname, which means she is in the right place, I think. Spooktacular, yeah. I apparently need to enunciate better because I thought I said 27th and it sounds like 22nd and everybody went back in time. But if you guys can go back in time and get stuck,
all the codes you'll know.
I know, you get stuck in a time loop and you'll know exactly when all the codes are going to be announced. So maybe
364 days.
Maybe you should all work on that. No, I don't want 364 days of Spooktacular. Anybody on our team would die.
You brought that up.
We would die because I don't sleep during Spooktacular. So does Facebook have a winner? Because YouTube has a winner. Facebook has a winner. So the YouTube winner for the Spirit Faction pin is Emily Lind, which is great because Emily was asking a ton of questions during the court segment. So Emily will win the Spirit Faction. Look at this cool box it comes in. So it comes in this cool box. I hope that Emily's Spirit Faction.
What does Emily need to do, Susan?
Emily, you know what? I'm gonna do that all at the same time.
Oh.
So the Flesh Faction pin is gonna go to Art Gutierrez in Facebook. So woohoo! I hope you guys are the right factions. What up? So Art and Emily, you're going to want to email social@sideshow.com and put your prize as the subject line. So Art will put Flesh Faction pin, Emily will put Spirit Faction pin, and then in the body of the email, just write where you want it shipped. It's that easy, guys. It is that easy. You do have 24 hours to claim your prize. So that's the catch, really. So you better send that email when, like now. I mean, I know that Emily's in the chat. I can see her in the chat. So you two, Emily and Art, just email. If you don't get a reply back within 48 hours from us, please try again because sometimes sometimes things get filtered. They wind up in junk mail. So we do respond if we got your email. That's something that you should know. We do respond if we got your email. So moving on to for more questions. So when will the pre-order for Obi-Wan? That is a day one pre-order for me. This is from Statue Junkie. We really need to not have legendary scale figures between me and the question board. So note for next show. Yeah, to have I just have like ADHD where I'm like, hey guys, what's going on? The answer is very soon. Which I feel like that's the answer for this question gets asked every week.
This one is legitimately.
It's legitimately very soon.
2 weeks, right?
Yeah, it's something like it's like New York Comic Con week, isn't it?
No, it's what next? I think it's next week.
I think it's coming up.
Oh, it's next week.
Oh.
Shh, don't tell anybody that it's next week, Susan.
Okay, I won't tell anybody that it's next week.
Oh.
Oh wait, we're still live. Awkward. It's next week. So that's really cool.
This week's newsletter.
Yeah, find out if you guys sign up for our newsletter. Go to sideshow.com and just sign up for the newsletter. Like, you'll know these things. You'll know them all. You'll know so much information. So much information. Yeah, I don't know. Do we have any more questions?
Yeah, will we be live at NYCC, and are we doing any meetups?
We will be live at NYCC, and I guess the meetup is come to the booth. because we hang out at the booth.
Be there.
Yeah, we have this really cool thing called the Sideshow booth at NYCC.
Do we know the
It's
number?
like the place to be. I don't know the number yet. It's on NYCC's website, but I don't have it. It's
We
not
do
this.
have it
Okay.
somewhere.
Okay. Well, we have it somewhere.
In the meantime, tell us what your tattoo says on your arm.
Which
I don't know. That's what they keep asking.
booth 1912. This one?
They keep asking for what your arm says.
Okay. It says until the very end. It's on
And it's a
page.
great way to end the show. Done.
Okay. Bye.
You want to show the pin for New York?
Ooh,
Oh,
yeah.
there you go.
Oh, here we go. It says until the very end. Look, if you don't know what that means, go to page 700 of Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows. Anyway. Wow. Oh, crap. That pin looks amazing.
Show it to the camera.
I haven't seen it yet. So if you are attending New York Comic Con, we have a pin scavenger hunt. It's Batman. It looks awesome. I'm drooling over Huntress in the background. Is that a production sample? Well, if you go to the Instagram after party, head on over to Instagram after the show. Every week we do an after party where we show up close and personal what we are teasing behind me the entire show. So yeah, definitely take a closer look at that painting. Kitty usually hosts the after party because Susan is really hungry. So we have, so Kitty will be on Instagram after the show to be doing all that on the after party. That's at Sideshow Collectibles on Instagram, in case you don't know our handle. So that's really cool. Wow.
Did you guys say that you're going to show the production Huntress, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. She's shipping soon. Yeah. She's shipping soon. I'm super excited. I love her. I have her on pre-order. We also, you know what I forgot to announce, which I should have at the beginning of this segment, but we have a winner from last week, the Freddy Krueger 6-scale figure that we unboxed. Again, I really think you guys are trying to like embarrass me about these names. I sincerely apologize that I don't know how to pronounce your name, but Zvi Vaxman from Canada. It's on screen right now. I'm so sorry. Zvi Vaxman from Canada. Congratulations, you won the Freddy Krueger 6-scale figure from last week's unboxing. That is super exciting. Whew. Oh my gosh. What else? Do we have any more questions?
We got a real head scratcher earlier in the show when we were talking about Nightmare Batman. Do you think that there's a Nightmare Bruce Wayne, or is it just Nightmare Batman?
Nightmare Bruce isn't Batman.
That'd be cool though. You see,
yeah.
You see Bruce Wayne through the eyes of the gas.
If you see Bruce Wayne through the eyes of Scarecrow gas, what would you actually see? Like a really arrogant, not word I can say live on a show.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yay, I'm glad you guys all spelled the name right, Zvi. So with that in mind, we have we had such a great show for you guys today. We did a feature on the Alex Ross He-Man and Skeletor lithograph set, which feels like it was 1,000 years ago, but it was really just an hour ago. We showed you the Prime 1 Geralt of Rivia from The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt. I finally got that name right. We did a feature on the Gotham Nightmare Batman. We did a feature on Court of the Dead publishing, more like Court of the Dead in general. It was a lowdown on like the court and the books coming out, but also on the Exalted Reaper 6-scale figure. So we had
legendary scale figure.
Legendary. Wow. I'm tired. Anyway, so it's a legendary scale figure. We had Tom Gilliland and Ricky Lovis here talking to you and answering some semi-personal questions. We did 2 live giveaways in the chat channels. So we talked about Spooktacular.
New York Comic Con.
New York Comic Con. So apparently, this is funny. At the end of the notes, we always say like, and then we dropped a limited promo code. I don't know when that happens. Yeah. That is totally Jeremy and Chicky or whoever is in the chats during the show. So we dropped a limited promo code. So congratulations to everybody who was able to get that. Check out sideshow.com/notify in order to get notifications for all of our live shows, all of our posts. So you just know whenever anything happens. And we would like to talk a little bit about the Mike Nosco charity auction. Mike Nosco is a local charity where people from all over the world come together to do this 80-mile bike ride through the Santa Monica Mountains. And that's crazy. So the recipient of the money raised through this charity bike ride is someone who has a life-threatening illness every year. And the aim is to be just life-changing for that particular person. A small group of Sideshow employees participate in the ride, but we've pledged to make an even bigger difference by holding this auction. So we have one-of-a-kind items, some artist proofs, some prototypes, and our goal is to raise as much money as possible through the sales of these unique items, and 100% of the proceeds go to the Mike Nosco Foundation. It's a chance for you guys to get some really rare collectibles and to support an awesome charity. So the short link for that is sideshow.com/auction. And we really hope that you guys will donate and bid on these items. They are really, really amazing. They were in Chicky's office like before they went up for auction, and we had a chance to drool all over them. But not literally.
There's an Iron Man Mark 1.
There's an Iron Man Mark 1?
PF. Or is it PF or is it a maquette?
It's a maquette, the Iron Man Mark 1 maquette.
And the last bid I saw was $1,500.
Wow. Wow.
So it's time to get that one.
We have a mix of prototypes,
artist proofs. Yep.
All kinds of stuff.
All kinds of stuff that you can't get anywhere else. So
I believe there's 40 different options.
40?
Yeah.
Wow. Wow, that's really, really cool. I saw the Spider-Man piece, which I was like, so that's really amazing. Anyway, yeah, so sideshow.com/auction, you would be donating to an amazing cause and adding a one-of-a-kind item to your collection that you cannot get anywhere else. So that's really, really, really cool. So remember that we will be having an after party hosted by Kitty. I'm throwing her under the bus and telling her that she's going to be hosting the after party.
You're doing it live.
And I'm doing it live, so you've all witnessed this. Kitty's hosting the after party. Thank you guys for watching so much, and have a super awesome week. We'll be back next week, same time, same place, same channels. Yes, same channels, 11 a.m. Pacific time, 2 p.m. Eastern time, various times all over the world. Thank you guys so much for watching Sideshow Live. See you next week.